Welcome to the Roll for Combat Actual Play podcast, where our intrepid adventurers are playing through the Pathfinder adventure, The Fall of Plaguestone. Join us every week as our daring adventurers face treacherous monsters and deadly obstacles on their quest to save a town from utter destruction. Lead on, listener. Your quest awaits.
Hey everyone, Steve here. Welcome to Rule for Combat, The Fall of Plaguestone. I'm your GM and host, Steven Glicker, and in this week's episode, well, this is it. This is the end. The adventure is over, one way or another. So normally with The Fall of Plaguestone, what I do is I put all my talking in the beginning of the adventure, and then there's nothing at the end of the adventure. Well, I'm mixing it up this week because I want to talk to you after the adventure's over, otherwise I have spoilers. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to do a real quick intro right now, and then after the adventure's over, I will come back and talk to you and tell you what our plans are with this adventure, with these characters, with the podcast, and so forth. So here we go. Super quick intro. We're going to jump right into the action where we last left off last week. This is going to be it. The adventure is ending after this week one way or another. Either they all save the town, they all run away, and we never find out what happens to Plaguestone, or Plaguestone has been destroyed and wiped off the map, or they all die. One of these four things is going to happen in the next couple of minutes, and all of them are very much real possibilities. This is a Jason Bowman adventure after all. So with that, let's get to the end of the Fall of Plaguestone. She dies, collapses, and as the blood is seeping out of her mouth, and she looks at you on flames, no less, Cade, she just laughs and says, "You feel good? Killing me? You're as bad as they are. Don't worry. They'll all be dead, and so will you."
Can I just throw her body in the river while she's saying this?
Lauren Sieg is playing Prue Frosthammer, the half-orc spirit barbarian.
Sure.
Yes. You throw her body in the river.
No,
wait, you did it.
I just said, can I? I didn't say I was doing it.
The body's in the river. It's now floating away.
Goodbye, all those magic items she was carrying.
Jason McDonald is playing Brixley Silverthorn, the gnome champion liberator.
Okay, Villery's turn goes. She moves down the river.
No, what?
Yes. So you did it. Okay, I have rules here.
She asked a question.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
Let's see.
Steve, you're such a cruel GM. You're so mean.
Vanessa Hoskins is playing Celeste Carvassalon, the human angelic sorcerer.
It's just funny. She's floating away. You think no, it's you were holding her, and as Prue's thinking about it, she slips and all the blood and falls in the river. Well, the good news is she's pretty easy to catch, and Celeste is up because someone's still on fire, and you might die from the fire, so we'll see what happens, Celeste.
You're so mean.
I'm not mean.
All right, the town needs to know what happened. We need proof. So I'm going to go down and grab her and drag her out of the river. So one action to move down, another action to grab her, and then the last one to drag her out.
The grab? What is grab?
Standard action, or one action.
Athletics against a corpse's reflex?
I know, seriously.
Give me just roll a d20. Okay, you do
17.
it. You do it. And you run over. Celeste's like, no, the loot. I mean, the body. And grabs her out of the river. And Prue's like, whoops, Butterfingers.
That was totally an accident.
Okay, is anyone else going to do anything, or should we just see what happens to Cade and his...
I'm going to put myself out.
Rob Tremarco is playing Cade Thistlerot, the halfling rogue thief.
I can just dunk you in the water.
Please dunk me.
I'm just going to dunk Cade.
Okay, you grab Cade, put him in the water. I should see if you roll a 1 that you drop him by accident. Okay, roll a 10. So you don't drop him by accident, which also would have been really funny. Okay, she's dead. She's waterlogged. It looks like everything's still on her. Maybe. She dropped her dagger, so that didn't go in the water, so that's still on the ground. And Grey Tusk got away. That's the best part. Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
We have a nemesis now.
So if she's saying that it's too late for the town and all this, I'm a little concerned. I think we better go there and see what's going on or something. Are there any notes or anything up near the cauldron? Any like journal on her body? Anything that will help us figure out what she tried to do?
Yeah, I mean, you can quickly search her body, and she seems to have some daggers, a key. She's wearing leather armor. She has a couple of other potions on her. She has the dagger that she was using against you guys. And
That's a good dagger. You should take that, Kate.
She has this weird alchemical crossbow that she actually was like putting the actual potions. It sort of like clicks the potion in and then coats the arrows with what the potion does. So if you like kind of clicked an acid potion in there, it would automatically coat the arrow with acid while it was being fired. It's really cool.
That is kind of cool.
And she had money on her. She had 2 platinum, 38 gold, and 4 silver.
Woo!
And some bracers, some cool bracers.
Kind of don't remember. Was there a chest in her room that the key might go to? Or as I imagine?
There's so many things you guys didn't loot back.
Yeah, there's a big library and stuff. There's a
lot. Yeah, there were like chests and stuff. There was a lot going on back there. But as for a journal, let's see. Nothing here. Nothing on her.
We had
nothing
all
up
her
near the
notes from
cauldron, no
earlier.
recipes or anything.
If you remember back in the other room where those alchemical drudges were, they kept throwing up on you to the west. There was a ton of recipe books over there.
All right, so the question is, do we stop to try to figure out what she was doing or just like run back to the town?
We already waited for like 16 hours here, and it's going to take us a day to get back to town. If we sprint back right now, it's not going to prevent anything that's already in the works.
I think we should get back quickly. I mean, though, if we can maybe rest before we head back, that might be useful. Just in case there's something else we have to fight back in town.
Yeah, or some random encounter messes us up.
But in terms of, like, searching this place for loot, we could always come back and do that now that we've kind of assumed control of it.
Well, Grey
there's
Tusk is
Grey
probably
Tusk out
watching
there.
us. She'll come back and loot it herself.
Yeah. I think we should do a quick once over on our way out to see if we find any notes, because that won't take forever. It's not like we're scouring it, but at least we can grab any bit of shiny we can fit in our pockets. But more than important than that, hopefully we'll come across her notes, whatever she was up to in town, and that way when we get back there, maybe we can help them with whatever had happened. I guess I'm not ready to give up on we can't save the town. That just
I think
seems...
she's bluffing.
She may have just been trying to psych us out or something.
It's possible, but I have to believe there's hope. I have to believe there's something we can do.
I didn't start a church for them to go and destroy it.
So here's the thing. Town is 8 hours away. So it's up to you how you want to do this. If you rest, I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can stay here, you can leave, you can rest. If you rush back, you'll probably be fatigued since you've been up all day. And, you have to, if you want to spend a little bit of time healing. She does have a book on her, but it's just her formula book. So that's kind of useless.
Let me ask you this. If we rest, do we level up?
I don't think stopping to rest is a good idea. You guys can rest if you want. I'm going to take a quick look around on my way out, and I'm going to head back to town.
No, but if we get back to town and have to fight something we've got no resources to fight it with, that's
Or we could rest, let it murder everyone in town, and we'll just get back to a pile of corpses. That doesn't sound much better.
Airplane rules. You have to take care of yourself before you can take care of someone else.
I don't think that applies in this instance. There's a lot of people counting on us.
Are you saying airplanes weren't invented yet?
I'm saying airplanes weren't invented yet.
You do not
Okay.
level up. You only have 2979. You are short.
Get back here, Grey Tusk. We need to kill you.
Yeah, for sure.
It's actually funny. I was looking. You're short by, what's that, 31. 31 experience points. The Grey Tusk won't give you enough. Well, whatever you want to do, you tell me.
I
We
mean,
can't-
it's
We can at least take
kind of a
time.
metagamey thing that we, it's like I kind of agree. I mean, sort of morally, I agree with Celeste. We would want to hurry back and try to help the town, but I mean, realistically, we are kind of depleted.
And our characters know they're exhausted. It's not that meta.
And we don't know. I mean, it's not that metagamey to know that you're tired from a day of fighting.
It's up to you. I mean, here's the thing. You will get a hero point for killing her. So you all have one of those, so that helps. And obviously you can just heal yourselves up real quick by drinking stuff, and then whatever you want to do, it's up to you.
Like 40 minutes or an hour to do a couple cycles of lay on hands is certainly needs to happen either way.
The problem is if we arrive at town fatigued, we're just asking to get killed in whatever fight is there.
Fatigue is only -1 to AC and saves. That's all fatigue is.
I'd rather show up tired and be able to help someone than show up to a town full of bodies.
Well, bare minimum, we have to heal up, and we can cheese lay on hands for that.
Alright, well, let's do a quick search of this chamber. Brixley, you can rest up in the lounge and we'll come and see you. Meanwhile, we'll search all those chambers that we missed last time. There's a lot of paperwork and books and something. There's got to be something in there that's helpful.
Okay. Yeah, I'll guard. I'll do lay on hands. I'll have Ember kind of guard just in case Grey Tusk comes back.
That sounds prudent.
Okay, so what do you do? It does 12 points. Is that correct?
Yeah,
There's
I'm
72
down,
points.
I'm down 1 cast. I'm only down 7 points at this point.
Well, now we're doing it the right way. So you do 12 points. So you look like you are completely healed. And the only ones that are down now is Prue and Cade, and that's it.
I'm down 2 casts of it.
Okay, so that's 30 minutes.
So give me a general idea of what you're going to do. So he heals himself. You have the body. It has stuff on it, but it's going to take time to identify, and it's up to you if you want to spend that time to do that. Otherwise, you will have another hero point for those who didn't spend it. Now have 2 for now. And there's a fair amount of things that you didn't look for or through, so it might take a little while. It's up to you how much you want to do or how much you could spend in X amount of time. And if you remember, I'm trying to see, working backwards. Let's see. Let me just look through my notes. The experimental laboratory where you fought that amalgam, there was lots of notes and diagrams, and you guys just ran through here. So you missed a lot in that room. There was a lot of papers in that room, like a ton. And let's see. And then back in like the main area, there was her room, which you kind of went through her room, but there was that sort of study with the bookshelves and the fireplace. You didn't really go through that at all. And then there's still that thing locked in the kitchen, which is actually still in the kitchen. And there's a couple other rooms. Some of them you went through and some of you didn't. And as you go through them, I can help remind you which ones you didn't. But the room to the west, that huge chamber, you guys just ran right through and didn't check anything in that.
All right, I'm looking back through my notes, and I wrote down, so Celeste is actually like looking back through her journals. I remember we found this note that said something about a human being exposed to a viridian vapor, and that the human died in agony in less than a day, so it was a slow, painful death. And then they burned the body and put it in a pit as instructed. Do you think that may be what she's up to? Something with this viridian vapor? I don't think we've seen anything like that. A viridian vapor? I'm not sure.
Does it say a way to cure it?
Well, no, it was just instructions given to those orcs, but I don't know. I'm just saying, at least maybe that'll narrow it down, unless you run into anything that could be considered a vapor. There are those nasty plants, but I doubt that was it. Those didn't seem like they'd kill us.
There was a dwarf in like some sort of like glass, right? Some sort of. Mm-hmm. Was that what?
Yeah,
that
let's
was?
go check that out. Let's see if we can help the dwarf or what that was about.
Oh, he's super dead, but I think those are the vapors trapped in there that seemed almost like they were like alive and hungry.
All right.
Up to you. You want to go to that room and take a look around?
Yeah, on the way out of here, we're going to look through all the different rooms.
Okay, well, you look around this area, and other than this bubbling cauldron and the lights, and you see up in the ceiling this sort of skylight way up, you don't see any papers or anything worthwhile. There's no notes or journals or books or shelves or anything.
Right, not in here. But what about that big room with the weird dead dwarf and all the big tables of alchemical stuff?
Okay, I'll say you move cautiously back through the caves up into this large room. And that was a large chamber that was obviously an alchemical laboratory. And this one is meticulously cleaned, well organized. There's 2 cauldrons. The walls are lined with shelves that hold tons of old books, orderly rows of glass bottles, each containing reagents and ingredients. There's 3 pits. And way to the west, there's a tall glass cylinder that contains the blackened corpse of a dwarf surrounded by a swirling green mist.
You also said there's a ton of notes in here, right?
There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bookshelves filled with books, notes all across the desks, and some other formulas and other things hanging on the walls.
Well, let's start with the stuff on the desks and look through the papers and see if there's anything about a vapor or Vidian vapor or whatever that is, or any other schemes that we haven't run into. So we know about the alchemical animals, we know about the giant pit acid, anything else. We know about the weird angry plants.
Sure. You look at the table and there is her formula book for this chamber. She had her personal formula book. This is her big ass formula book that has all her formulas, and it's open next to one of the cauldrons. None of you are alchemists, so you can't really read it. You know what this is, but obviously you don't have the skills to actually create these. However, if anyone is skilled enough in crafting, you might be able to kind of figure out what's going on with any of these formulas.
I can take a look.
True Frosthammer. Crafting.
And this is going to be at +1.
Holy crap, 23.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? You made it. You take a look, and you're able to identify just through pattern recognition that the ingredients that were being delivered by Bort and that appear to be in this chamber is sure enough the Viridian vapor. And you read it, and it describes an absolute lethal dose of the disease contracted by inhaling the vapors. The disease causes horrific fungus to grow inside the lungs within hours, leading to death. There is no cure. On top of that, you look around and realize that there was enough ingredients in this room to create hundreds and hundreds of batches. But the problem is, all those ingredients are empty, which means there was the remnants of where those ingredients were. But you see all the areas of the shelves labeling those ingredients, and they're gone. So either she was keeping it ready, or she used it all up. In addition, you find a parchment tucked inside the formula book that bears a diagram of a round, flat-topped rock with a depression on top. The diagram depicts a procedure for using acid to create a reservoir inside the stone. There's only one note on the illustration, reading, quote, "Mother's ring will be the key," unquote.
Well, obviously now we're going to look at the stuff we pulled off Vilry. Did we get any rings from her? I guess I'm still holding this corpse, aren't I? Let's look at her hands.
She has no ring, but you can see clearly on her finger there was a pattern of where her ring used to be. It's gone. Also, you know for a fact that dwarf in the glass case is suffering from the effects of this vapor, and it's still active. How about that for awesome?
You said suffer ring, so he's not dead yet.
What do you mean? Oh no, he's dead. He's
he's not
dead.
suffering anymore if he's dead.
Well, okay, fine. So, also you realize that if you take Viridian Vapor, you will die within 10 minutes of breathing it in.
10 minutes?
There's no
The
cure.
note said the human died in agony in less than a day. I guess 10 minutes is less than a day, but it seemed like more than that. Jeez. Alright, well, if she had made this much of it, it definitely sounds like she was planning on using it to attack the town. Somehow. And something about the Plaguestone in Mother's Ring, I don't understand.
How about an Arcana check to try and figure out what kind of ritual that's referencing?
Sure.
If I could use Occult, maybe. I don't have a current Arcana.
You
I
could
have
do
Arcana.
Occult. You could do Arcana. Occult's can be
Alright,
better,
let's
but
let's
Arcana-
both think about our stuff.
20. You're not
I am
exactly
half
sure,
sorcerer.
but you think maybe using the ring maybe is a trigger to set off something.
Well, we have to search for that ring then. It's a big place, though. It could take us a while.
Well, again, it looks like there was a ring on her finger, and it's recent that it's gone.
Unless
Yeah.
she gave it to a minion, the person she sent back to Plaguestone.
She could have given it to
Oh, that
Grey
could be it.
Tusk. Although they also said that when she was saying that they're already all dead, so it seemed like, yeah, if she gave it to someone to take back there and do something with, knowing that we were coming, maybe?
Yeah, I wonder if the ring triggers the reaction.
Well, if she had one and doesn't have it now, and it looks like it triggers a reaction of a crap ton of this gas, we should probably head back to the town. Hopefully, if we can stop whomever is there, but if there's a diagram of the Plaguestone, it looks like that's where they're going, so we just need to beeline it to there and hope that we beat them to it.
Don't they have a lead of like 16 hours or more?
I mean, we don't know when they left.
Well, at the bare minimum, let's heal up as much as we can.
Where does this river go?
I got one spell left, or we have potions, whichever you prefer.
We have Brixo.
You also see a look around. There's something like 18 potions that probably are viable. You're not exactly sure what some of them are. Some of them look familiar, however. The river goes underground, deep underground, so that, might be certain death. Who knows?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's not do that. I don't know. I have one spell left if you want to do it on the road, but I think we all need to get going. I don't think we should sit around here knowing now what we know.
Can we identify some healing potions real quick?
10 minutes, up to you.
Ugh. Can you do it while we walk?
There's a lot of potions in here. I don't know if I can carry them all.
Didn't you each have like 3 or 4 healing potions?
I've got some minors.
Okay.
Can I do my 10 minutes of meditation while riding Ember?
I don't know about that, but you have 2 lessers left, and that does 3d6 plus 6. So Prue is 1 and Brixley is 1.
Yeah, just drink one of those and let's go.
I thought I was topping everybody off while you guys were searching the papers. Thought
Well, I don't know how much time just passed, but we searched this room a bit and found some stuff, so...
A few minutes. It's definitely not 10 minutes.
I mean, I don't think we should spend 40 minutes sitting around here, drinking beer and shooting the shit when the whole
other
town
thing I
could be
want to
dying.
check really quick. The other thing I want to check really quick is I could be wrong, but I could have swore there was like some sort of chest in her room, and
We can
maybe
go look real quick. Doesn't hurt to
Yeah,
look.
let's
go
take a
look.
quick look. And then she had a key on her, so maybe that chest. There's. If I was right about the chest,
Yeah.
maybe the key opens the chest.
Well, you go sit down and recharge your Healy hands, and we'll take a look at it.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, you run upstairs. And let's see. There is... I don't know. Let's see. Do you just take all those potions that you think might be useful?
We just
Yeah,
shove
just
them in a
grab 'em
burlap
for
sack,
now.
I guess.
I'll take the fancy schmancy crossbow. I think I can use crossbows.
That's a
Okay.
striking dagger, so that'd be great for Cade.
I'll take it.
You, let's see. In her chambers, you actually managed to open the chest because inside the chest, that's where you found the moderate alchemist fire, the 2 lesser
Oh,
kind of
right.
bags,
Okay, all right.
the energy
Well-
mutagen, and tons of gold.
We can still learn something here. Let's look and see if that key fits this chest.
It fits the chest, no problem.
Well, there we go. Key's a red herring.
You learn something new every day.
Can we please go now?
Yeah, I guess let's be heroes and try to save the town.
If it's not too much to ask, I would like to not be literally half dead when we walk into the town.
It's up to you. You have lots of healing potions.
Can we spare one more 10 minutes for 10-minute cast for one more cast to lay on hands on Prue?
Sure.
+8 on that, 19 hit points back to Prue, and then Celeste walks out of the room. Cool, let's go.
There you go. Celeste starts leaving.
I'm just gonna go. If no one's coming with me, it's just gonna be me.
She's leaving.
I feel like so far we've determined the key is some sort of ring that has to, I don't know, interact somehow with the Plaguestone. That seems to be important in this whole thing, and it's going to release a gas that murders people within 10 minutes. Yeah, we should probably make sure we beat whomever has it to the Plaguestone. Either we get there and everyone's alive and we just guard the Plaguestone and make sure no one gets to it, or we get there and everyone's dead and I guess we took too long. But I'd rather have a chance at the first outcome.
All right, let's go save the town.
Okay. Celeste gives a stern talking to the party.
Sorry. I would feel like the biggest asshole in the world if we're like, so we took another hour and we healed up for free and we searched all these rooms and we got bags full of loot and now we're going to get back to, and everyone's dead. Oh, well, I guess we're rich. Like, no, that doesn't make me feel good.
I'm just looking at it logically. Like, we already took so much time. There's no way they're not already dead.
Who did she send back?
Cool, then we'll come back here and loot shit later, or you will, and I'll just murder myself. I don't know. But right now, we don't know.
Who did she send back? We don't know, right? An orc? A giant?
She didn't send
We
back
don't
a
know.
turtle.
Well, you leave the town. You leave the castle. What do you want to do? How do you get back to town?
First
Well-
things first, can we look at the horizon and see if there's smoke coming from the direction of Plaguestone or something?
You see no smoke. It's 20 miles away, so you see nothing.
Unless we have horses, we start walking.
Well, one of us has a ride, but...
Then if you want to gallop ahead, please do.
No, I'll stay with the group. I don't think if we're already talking about being ragged, I don't think me getting there early does a lot to change the dynamic.
Yeah.
So.
And really,
Always.
Ember's move speed's what, 30 feet?
Yeah, and Ember isn't that much faster when carrying me.
True.
All right, we'll just all stay together and head back to town.
Let me see how
Okay.
much hit points I have. I'll take a potion.
Are you going to be
Okay.
pushing through or doing anything?
We
Wait,
go.
so if you're riding Ember, then the only person who's slower than 30 feet is Prue, and that's just because your armor, is that right?
Yeah.
It might be worth for 20 miles taking your armor off so we can get there faster.
5 hit points from a minor elixir of life.
Is there another one of those? I'll drink one too. For 2 dumb hit points.
It's something. So if I take my armor off, I only go up to 25, and then I'm wholly unprotected.
How is it less than... Oh, because 25 is the base in the system, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I mean, that's just as fast as everyone except the cat. And since we don't have any way to get everyone up that fast, well, then there you go.
Okay. So you start walking through briskly the path you came, and it is nighttime. It is dark. Do you wish to do anything or just hurry back to town as quickly as you can?
Hurry back to town as quickly as we can.
Hurry as we can.
Sleeping will make Celeste cry. And all of us cry. Especially if everyone's dead.
I mean, she's not stopping.
If Celeste isn't stopping, we're not stopping.
Okay, no one's stopping. Let's get to the final countdown. There's still a grim possibility that the town of Etrin's Folly is now a town filled with the dead and dying. Miles pass, minutes turn to hours, and finally, the unsuspecting village grows ever closer. There's no sign of Villery's minion, but that only adds to a growing sense of dread. Etrin's Folly comes into view at the crest of a hill. You now see, as you hurry into town, several items in front of you. First, off in the distance, you see what appears to be the dead body of Sir Laurent Kent on the ground. In addition, you see Pari
No.
sparring with an alchemical dredge as she looks up to you for a split second with hope in her eyes it's 1 second too late. As the
No.
alchemical dredge vomits acid onto her, and she goes down screaming in agony. The alchemical dredge pays her no heed and continues moving towards the plague stone.
Cade will scream and in anger and run right toward her and have a potion.
And I swear to God, if Grey Tusk shows up again, I'm getting in the car and driving to New York and beating you up.
Don't beat me.
Then I'm driving to Seattle and beating up someone at Paizo.
Jason
you can beat
Ballman.
up Jason Ballman.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I mean no ill will towards Jason Bowman.
Let me just look up Grey Tusk's stats. Hold on a second.
Well, hopefully he was mortally wounded, so hopefully he would drag himself to town, or she would drag herself to town even slower than we would.
Okay. Here we go. The alchemical dredge, who you fought, oh so many of them, puked all over your student. She was now bathed and in a pool of acid. In addition, you're all fatigued as you ran through the night, coming to town right as the sun is rising. Kent is 15 feet in front of you, laying on the ground, appears quite dead.
How did
Harry.
he die, though?
Acid puke.
Looks like acid puke and punching. He didn't have any weapons with him, but he seemed to go out fighting. Parry, well, you saw what just happened to her.
Roll for combat!
Well, this is a strange one. Prue's up first. That never happens.
That is strange. Let me see how far I am.
You actually rolled a 20 on your initiative, and the alchemical drudge is last. Well, except for Celeste.
Brixley, you have to heal her. Celeste, you have to heal her.
All right.
I'll take care of her, Cade.
What was
Oh,
that?
sorry about that. Oh, I forgot.
What was that?
I'm just killing her.
Dead?
Don't worry. Well, she's dying. You better hurry. She dropped. We'll find out. Prue's up.
All right, I'm going to use 2 move actions to get right up to the dredge. And I'm going to grab it with an athletics against its fortitude. Probably don't get it.
You roll a 15 against its fortitude save. You fail to grab it.
I could use a hero point. What do y'all think?
That sounds
Yeah,
a good
I
idea.
would.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay, hero point time. You rolled a 15. Let's see if you can do it this time. 17.
Creeping up. Probably not enough, though.
Fortitude. You grab
Fort
it
DC.
barely. You
Yes.
just grab it. Kate is up.
He makes a beeline for Pari.
Got a potion you can give her?
Whatever the last minor one.
That's life-saving.
Well, let me see. Well, it's 2 actions to move up to her, and then
Which
1
two
action
and one to pull it
pull
out.
out. Yep. And
Stop the beast, Cade. I've got this.
it doesn't look like you have any minors. You don't have any healing left
Oh.
anyhow. So,
Oh, then
yeah, I'm looking at you. You have bombers, bottled lightnings. You don't have any healing left.
can I stand over her dying corpse to fight this thing?
What I would probably recommend, you can either do that, but she is in the acid pit. Sorry, she's in the acid.
Oh,
so
there's
you
a
might
pool.
want to. Yeah, she's in the pool, so you probably want to maybe pull her out of the acid so she doesn't keep taking damage.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay, I will say you're able to run up to her and grab her and just move her 5 feet out of the acid. I'll say you're there. Brixley is up.
All right, actions 1 and 2 are moving to Pari,
Okay.
and then I'm going to lay on hands on her.
Ooh,
If you
okay.
stand there, you're in the acid.
Oh wait, yeah, that's the acid. I don't want to be standing in the acid. Sorry, I had the notion that I wanted to stand between it and and Pari and the Drudge, but not if I'm standing in acid to do it.
There's the acid.
So yeah, I'm going to be foolish and heroic and use my lay on hands for an innocent townsperson instead of us.
You run up to Pari. You quickly grab her as Kate is cradling her. And you lay on hands for 12 points of healing.
Caden, do not let this innocent child die.
And you think you hear her breathing become more steady, but she doesn't open up her eyes or anything, but it looks like she looks a lot better than before, and all the acid burns and pummeling is now healed up. See, Ember would go, but you didn't. Ember's just sort of looking around. Alchemical Drudge. Interesting. Okay. Grappled.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up the escape action.
Escape. Basic action. It's an athletics. It's let's see, here it is. You attempt using your unarmed attack modifier against the DC of the effect. So it's interesting. So it's a check using your unarmed attack against the DC of your athletics. So what is your
My
athletics?
DC is 19.
It's pretty good. Pretty good. So he will punch you to keep moving. Here we go. 13. So he does not break free of your grab.
Good. He can try again, but at -5.
I understand that. Well, sees that you are doing this. Instead, it tries to break free, looks at you, and vomits.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it doesn't suck. Give me a reflex save. 22.
Hey,
Success. I rolled 3 points of damage. You take 1 point of acid damage, and you're in acid. Celeste is up. That was not a good turn.
Alright, Celeste is gonna start, running up to the thing, sort of walking up to it slowly, casting her spell, and toss a big ball of fire at it.
Hiya!
Produce flame.
You hit. 9 points of damage.
Fantastic.
Little bit on fire. So is it immune to that? Nope, it is not. Good job.
Ooh.
Crew's up.
Alright, I'm going to use one action to step, since my grab goes away on this turn anyway. I'm going to start swinging my flail around, building up some momentum while I do. I'm working myself up, getting into a rage, and then I'll attack it with my last action.
You done?
Yeah, that's 3 actions.
You somehow miss. But Cade's up. Maybe Cade will rescue you all.
Maybe he will.
Well, Cade doesn't have a weapon drawn because he was rescuing Pari.
He draws a short sword.
Get your striking dagger out.
Striking dagger. Does that just do an extra D4? Is that right?
Yeah, 2d4 plus, just 2d4.
Alright. Is it a +1 striking dagger?
Yeah.
All right. How do I want me to roll that, Steve?
What's this dagger you're talking about?
It was on Villery.
Villery's dagger?
Oh, you're just going to take it and hope for the best?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. So you take her dagger and let's see, what does it do? How did you know what it is? I didn't tell you that. I didn't say it was magic or
I
anything.
read your mind.
I could have sworn you said it was.
Maybe. I just said it was
I heard it.
dagger. Well, then
Or maybe you bragged about it when you were hitting us with it.
I hope so.
Well, is it one or not?
You're going to find out. Hold on, I'm doing
All
stuff.
right.
It magically heals alchemical drudges.
Wouldn't that be something?
It's the stabby dagger of healing.
God, I hope so. Okay, I have Villery's daggers in there. Go, gadget dagger.
Okay, hold on.
The dagger feels
Hero Pointo.
feels like you don't deserve this dagger, and
I deserve it.
Gives you a 2. Let's see if your hubris pays off.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful sound.
Unless they're immune to criticals because there's some sort of construct.
That's what I was looking up. They are not immune to criticals.
Oh,
So-
excellent.
It gets hit for 16 points of damage plus an extra
enjoy those.
7.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
not fair.
Nobody hurts Pari in this town.
Okay. The Drudge didn't know what hits it. 120 feet from its goal, it drops, and from within its hand out rolls a ring. And you see Pari's eyes open as she flickers them, and she looks around and says, "I knew you'd save me, Cade."
You did great, kid. You were way out of your skill range, but you did great. I'm glad you're all right.
I'm gonna go shut Sir Lauren Kent's eyes.
Okay, he's dead. You look at him and it looks like there was no hope to healing him. He obviously fought valiantly and saved the town as he was a mere 120 feet away from the Plaguestone.
Does he have a necklace or a ring or anything I can remember him by?
Yeah, he has stuff. He has ring, he has necklace. He actually has both. He has, looks like some ornamentation from his days as a fighter. He gave up wearing his armor, if you remember, after you showed him the error of his ways. So he kind of stopped drinking and stopped wearing his armor and started to instead walk around more like a civilian, but it cost him his life as he wasn't fully prepared for one final battle.
Well, I'm gonna take his necklace and I'm gonna put it on. Let's go secure the Plaguestone.
Was this because we took his sword? Or he gave us his sword?
He gave you his sword.
That's true. A +1 sword would have been kind of handy for him, but
Well, we turned it into a +1 flail, and that was awfully handy for us.
It sure was.
That's true. So it's dead, and Pari's just sort of looking around, wondering what's going on. It's like, did you stop it? Did you kill it? I don't know what it is, but it looked menacing. And after I heard Sir Lawrence Kent yell for help, I was just getting ready for my morning chores coming into town, and I heard him and I saw it.
You saved the town. You saved the town.
She looks at you and smiles and says, well, hopefully Mom won't punish me for this.
I think you're immune to punishment for a while, kid.
I hope so too. She just sort of snuggles up against her little teddy bear, Cade.
And I hug her, and a little tear comes out of his eye.
Looks like you're a hero of Etrin's Folly from where I'm standing.
That's for sure. She is.
So it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. People are coming by and starting to enter into town, sort of doing their morning chores, when they all sort of see what's going on, and you start hearing commotion of people calling out, saying that there's something going on out here, that there's a fight and some creature and acid and someone's dead, and you just hear lots of commotion.
Brixley, why don't you tell them what happened? Everything's still so confused in my mind.
yeah, I'll kind of find a place, near the Plaguestone itself, and kind of summon the townspeople together.
But not with the ring.
Yeah, not with the ring. You guys hold the ring far away.
So sure enough, Sheriff Roth shows up, and of course all the other vagabonds appear. Pinnock is there,
Flonk is there.
Delma, Trin, Nolia is not there.
Oh, look, local farmer showed up. Haven't seen him for a while.
The guy who punched me in the bar brawl, is he here?
Yeah, he is. The farmer Eliam, he's there too. It's the final chapter, the final bow, the epilogue. Everyone shows up to come to the center of town, wondering what's going on. Why is he dead? What happened to Sir Lawrence Kent? What happened to Pari? Why is there a dead creature? What's going on? No.
Well, I'm afraid it was the ghosts of the past, as Vilry, the daughter of the witch, tried to take her revenge on your town. She's been experimenting with alchemy all this time, and her plan, part of her plan was all of the misshapen animals and blight, but her master plan involved hiding some sort of poison in the Plaguestone itself that she was going to try and release to kill everyone in town. And this creature was attempting to deliver the final key that would unlock it. Your townspeople here, good Sir Kent and Pari, were pivotal in stopping it long enough for us to get here and help. So they're heroes and should be treated as such.
They all look around and are horrified, and they start saying, it's like, see, she was a witch. She was horrible. Look, her daughter wanted to kill us. She wanted to kill us. Everyone in that family wants to kill us.
It's not so. Her mother helped you. Her mother helped cure the plague that almost wiped out this town. And you didn't understand her ways and turned against her. That's what made Villery the way she is. That's what rooted the seed of anger and hatred in her and fostered it for all that time, tossing her out. Just because you don't understand something doesn't mean that it's bad. I don't...
Certainly no one here deserved to die, but part of her grievance was that the town turned their back on her after turning out her mother.
As you say that, they all sort of look down at their feet as they realize this is true. They did treat her poorly. They did treat her as an outsider. And Delma looks at you and says, it's like we've done such bad things. Maybe we deserve to die. No one should have been treated that way, especially a little girl. What were we doing? What did we do?
Sometimes it's difficult, but it's important to remember that people shouldn't be guilty for the sins of their ancestors. And as she says this, Celeste sort of subconsciously grabs at the amulet in her pocket. The only thing we can do is try and take a good step forward, try and be kinder to our neighbors and visitors, try and see the best in people and not the worst. Try and assume the best in people. I think that's what I love about this town, and there was just a misstep, a mistake. One that almost cost you all your lives, it's true, but it doesn't mean that you can't continue to go on and to be better.
You can always find a better path. Sir Kent showed you that, as did Pari. They died. Well, Sir Kent died, and Pari almost died trying to save this town. So, in doing so, they show you a path forward.
I've known a lot of warriors and fighters in my time. I fought side by side with these three, and I'd be proud to fight alongside Pari as well. She's one of us.
Well, Delma looks at you and sort of does a knowing smile. But Uncle Targi, who was wheeled out in his wheelchair to see what all the commotion's about, just sort of goes, it's like agree to disagree, he says under his breath.
Disagree about what?
He looks at you and says, oh, nothing. Just an old man thinking back. Guess what's done is done.
Maybe you should leave things then to the young, to those who have an interest in investment in their own future. What do you say, Delma? Time for another election?
She says, well, we appreciate what you've done for this town, but it's something we have to think about. And I want to see, obviously, all the notes. I presume there's lots of evidence and information you were able to collect from wherever you confronted this Villery. I'm sure with time we'll be able to fully understand what's behind this. And I think that will help everyone heal in this town. We obviously have your word, but evidence will go a long way to solidifying that and making sure this doesn't happen again.
I think we'll need to borrow the cart again for that. There's libraries worth of books and notes and information to go through. It's going to take some time to do that.
She did have 20 years to plan this, so...
well, you can keep the cart after all this. Seems like you always need it. And Sheriff Rolfe steps up and he's like, I'm very impressed with everything you've done here, especially after helping such a tiny community. You don't even know who we were. You just did this out of the kindness of your heart. You found the murderer. You avenged Bort, and looks like you saved all of us. We owe you so much. I don't even know where to begin.
You could begin with dinner.
Well, of course, at the very least, free of charge, you can stay at Feed Mill as long as you like. And your tab is wiped away. Any money you owe, that's all taken care of. And of course, we're about to have breakfast, but we could have a big feast of turnips, and I'll even break out my special batch of turnips galore. That's right. It's a special breed of turnips that we only use for special occasions. But I think this is as special as they come. We'll even bring out our special turnip wine, our special turnip mead, and we might even do our special turnip turnover surprise.
That sounds lovely.
I can't wait to be out of this town.
There are some more orders of business that we should take care of, however. The Plaguestone should be removed carefully, very carefully. It was somehow involved in this plot, and I think it's high time that the town move on from their history about the whole plague that came through and find a better moniker for this village, for this area. Even Etrin's Folly seems a bit downcast. I'd say with all that you've been through, persistence is really the heart of this town, the heart of these people. Maybe we'll find a new name, a better name. Etrin's Persistence, perhaps? But still, arrangements should be made, and maybe some of you would like to volunteer your time to come and help us bring back what we can.
Sure, a lot of the farmers look and say, oh, of course, whole bunch step forward to say, we'll help. Let them look both curious as to what was going on, as so little occurs within this town, and any excuse is a good excuse to leave. Plus, a lot of them seem to be really taken aback, shocked by everything that happened here, and that they were this close to all dying. With that also, that some of the more industrious people, like Farmer Eliam, and the dwarves show up, and they carefully approach the Plaguestone. Your dwarven friends, Mr. Brixley, they make short work of looking at the Plaguestone, and sure enough notice that there is a incredibly well hidden secret entrance that no one would know without knowing to look for it. And inside, it's filled with what appears to be some liquid of some sort, a green liquid. It seems to be inert right now, but they obviously realize touching this or doing something with it would probably not be best, as who knows what this would do.
Perhaps we should, over the long haul, we should go through Vilry's notes and see if there's any means of neutralizing it or destroying it.
Yes.
We could set it on fire. It's fungal in nature. I mean, that should do it, right?
Or kill everyone.
Yeah. Or kill everyone.
Yeah.
You don't want to guess wrong.
We need to be sure.
So your two acolytes, what was it, Edfor and Metamon, they look at it and they say, we think we could figure this out. We're pretty skilled with stone masonry, and they're looking at it. It's like we can siphon this out safely. I don't think anyone should go anywhere near it now. I think we can handle this. And with Caden Kalin's blessing, we should be able to safely take out this vile liquid and dismantle the Plaguestone once and for all. Perhaps a statue to Caden Kalin. We should rededicate this town in his image.
I think Caden's got a church. I think you guys should choose a symbol that matters to you.
Maybe Sir Lauren Kent.
That's an excellent idea. Everyone sort of mumbles and they say, how about a compromise? Sir Lawrence Kent, sword in one hand, beer mug in the other. After all, he did like to drink.
And some turnips hanging from his belt, I'm sure.
Oh, of course. That goes without saying. Everyone sort of mumbles, like, of course there's turnips. Why wouldn't there be turnips? Were you assuming there weren't going to be turnips? So with that, it looks like Etrin's Folly is saved. Sir Lawrence Kent died protecting the town. Your church is complete. Obviously, Caden Kalin seems to be pleased with Brixley, as he does have Ember, and no normal priest or follower of Caden Kalin would normally get something as exquisite as a flaming cat as a mount. Pari is alive and will continue her adventures either with Cade or with the caravan. But Celeste still has a lot of unfinished business. She still knows she's cursed. She still has a contract of some sort written in language she can't quite understand. Her story is not over.
Well, she has a lifetime to figure it out. Over the coming days of celebration and rebuilding after all this, Celeste comes to her companions over some turnip porridge, perhaps celebrating that very evening. You know, once they get the caravan up and running and leaving town, I suppose you'll all be leaving. I don't think I'm going to go with you. At least not just yet. This town has seen has seen so much strife, has seen so many hardships. And I think that establishing the temple to Caden Kaleen is going to give them something to celebrate, certainly. But I think they also need some guidance. I've become really close with Loris recently, Imperial Lord of Charity and volunteer work, and I think that's the next chapter of my life. Get to know some of my distant relatives a bit better, and as well as help them sort of rebuild and recover. Maybe even set up the livestock again now that the forest isn't going to be continually poisoned. And, I don't know.
Sounds like they could use a mayor with a little less of a chip on his shoulder.
Absolutely. Mostly I just want to see this place prosper again. All the rundown buildings, all the empty houses, it just seems so sad, so lonely. I think they need hope again. And in time, I plan on making my way, I'm not sure, probably to Absalom. I hear there are great libraries there, and people far learned than I am to help me with this contract. She pats a scroll case on her belt. But I've got the rest of my life to deal with that. And longer, as it seems. So, for now, this is the more immediate danger. This is the more immediate problem. And I think I'm needed here. How about you? What will you do after this?
Haven't right figured it out yet. I think I'm just gonna head south and see where the wind takes me.
I'll head south with you.
I'd enjoy the company. We still have to establish the spirit.
That's true.
Well, I will want to come back and check on my church every once in a while, but, there is still a whole big world to explore. And, we'll try south for a while, and whenever that's done, there's 3 other compass directions to check out.
All sounds pretty good to me.
Well, Brixley, maybe when you come back to check on your church, I'll be ready to go.
Fair enough. Hopefully they'll have some crops other than turnips by then.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I'm sure with your stewardship you can manage it.
Well, I'm hoping so. They're good people, and as much as they love turnips, I'm sure if we could get an import of something more interesting that would pique their interest, well, we could diversify. Who knows? Maybe they'll even like radishes.
Has crop rotation even been invented yet?
Maybe that's your calling. Crop rotation and soil management.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's an archetype.
Crew, dirt farmer.
Soil manager.
Oh, God.
Prue, Frosthammer, dirt farmer.
That sounds right miserable.
As you are winding down, figuring out what you're going to do with the rest of your lives, Tamil comes up to you and says that she's about ready to go, but before so, she wants to have a funeral for Bort and asks if you could all accompany her to the funeral. She just wants to do it with herself and you.
That's true. We never really did lay him to rest properly either. The events kind of overtook us. So, certainly.
Well, she wanted to wait until he was brought to justice. And she is eternally thankful. She very quietly walks over to a nice part of the forest where he's already been laid to rest and a tombstone's been placed. She looks at you all and says, if you'd like to say a few words, please do. I know you didn't know Bort very well, but he was a good man, complex man, but he treated everyone well, and he was always happy to lend a story, or lend a smile. He was a great boss and someone I really enjoyed being with. I'm really going to miss him. He didn't deserve to go this way. I'm not happy that he died in such a horrible way, but at least there's a little bit of comfort knowing that he was avenged, and in the end, his death might have inadvertently saved the town. Anyone else wishes to say any words?
Kate will step up and I'll say, I know that his death was tragic and didn't deserve it, but that caravan brought us all together for a reason, right? This town would have been a literal corpse graveyard full of people destroyed by some mad woman's revenge. So I have to thank Bort for his one last act of bringing us together.
Thank you, Bart.
With that, she walks up and she says fond farewell to the caravan master. In spite of any of the shady deals he might have made over the years with questionable characters, he was a genuinely kind and fair man. He was fun to ride with, and I will dearly miss him. And Tamil sheds more than a couple of tears. And with that, she just puts her head down, does a final nod, and wanders back to town. As you're walking slowly back to town, she wants to say that she's incredibly grateful for everything you've done, helping solve Bort's death and bringing villains responsible to justice. She opens up a pack, and inside is rings that you heard about. She looks at you and says, "These were Bort's rings, many of them magical. This was his most prized possession. I find it fitting that each of you should take one to remember Bort by and to have my eternal gratitude of saving him, and hopefully use something to remember him by."
Thank you.
With that, you see the rings. They're pretty nice. One is a small, ornate copper band with a small ruby. That's Bort Blessings. That makes you a little bit better at talking people into things. There's Merchant's Guile, a ring made from blue-colored ivory, 2 sharp decorative protrusions on the sides. It's quite heavy. She goes on to explain that you can use this ring to determine if things are magical. It's quite a time saver for someone like Bort. Another one is a rose gold ring adorned in the center by a ominous-looking horned skull. Gives you the power to cast minor spells like Detect Magic, Mage Hand, and Prestidigitation. There's another one that's a fanciful ring with an ornate band with swirling decorations with 3 bright emeralds. This one allows you to refresh yourself from fatigue. I always wondered how he was able to go all night drinking and just keep on going the next day. I now know how he did it. There's another ring. It's a simple ring with no gemstone, and this allows you to grant yourself 5 temporary hit points, get a little bit stronger, a little bit more robust every day. And then finally, a warrior trainings ring with a simple sharp-edged sculpture on the band's center. And with this, it allows you to become even better at attacking, even using weapons you aren't trained at.
Huh, like grenades.
Like grenades.
She looks at you all and says, "You don't need to decide right now, but I thought you all should be duly rewarded for a job well done." And with that, she says, "Are any of you joining us? We're about to leave town."
Where are you headed?
"South. I guess we'll continue on our way."
All right, let me grab my stuff.
Is Pari around?
Pari could be around. You can find her.
I'll find her. It's like, we're headed south on the caravan. Do you want to come?
She looks at you with a big old smile and says, "Really? Will you train me? Can I stay with you and be with you during this time? I mean, I still have so much to learn. I mean, of course, I don't want to be a burden or anything."
You won't be, and you'll be with me and Prue and Brixley. We'll all teach you how to fight, and you'll help us protect the caravan.
She just looks at you and says, "Oh, that'd be great. I know Mom's going to be sad, but it's time for me to move on. And this has been my lifelong dream. And after that fight, I have to tell you, I was scared, I tell you. And I thought things were going to go bad, especially after that acid was on me. But you know what? I was actually really excited. And I wasn't really that scared. Not in the end. I just felt exhilarated. Is that what you feel when you fight?"
I used to, and maybe I will again.
"Yeah, I think I like it. I don't know what that says about me, but I want to keep learning." "Okay, I'm going to go quickly get my stuff and tell Mom and say goodbye to my mom. I know she's going to be really sad, and I'll figure out some way to come back and visit her every so often. Or
We'll be back to visit.
Okay, that's
We'll be
good. I'm
back.
going to tell her that. I'll tell her that.
Which ring did I get?
It's up to you, whichever one you wish."
I want to take the warrior's training ring, and I want to give it to Pari.
Okay.
Aw.
It's the one that gives you a bonus to your attack roll for weapons you're untrained with, since she's not super trained in anything yet. So
Ooh, that's a level 5 magic item. You gave a level 1 rogue thief warrior person. We're not sure what she is yet.
right,
That's going to give her a big bonus.
that's right. She needs to be safe. I feel responsible for her.
So they're packing up the caravan, and she looks at you all. I guess you all say goodbye to each other. Celeste staying back. Ember.
was going to say, before they leave, Celeste is going to approach Perry and say, well, looks like you're going to set out on your first adventure. I have something for you. I hope you'll accept it. And she reaches into her pouch and pulls out her compass. It still has the Andoran Trading Company's logo embossed on it and everything. It says, this was given to me by my father when I first left town. And he said it would help me find my way. And while I didn't use it a whole lot during my time here, it certainly seems that I have found my way. So I hope it helps you find your way as well. And she hands it over to Perry.
Perry takes it and gives you a big old hug and says, oh, thank you so much. I'm going to miss you all so much.
Oh,
You'll be back, and I'll make sure to look in on your mother just in case she's having a hard time.
That'd be great. I know she's going to put up a strong front, but she's going to be really, really sad. Maybe you can use your magic to contact me and pass messages once in a while if you get stronger or learn some spells to do that.
Yes, perhaps. I'll look into it. Well, farewell.
So finally, at the very end, as you pull out and leave, the whole town waving, seeing you off, seeing the celebration and sad. A few things. First of all, they give you some goodie bags, some travel rations, turnips, and more turnips in every shape and size conceivable. It seemed like every member of the town created their own special turnip dish just for you. They say, look at you and say, always remember us, never forget us. And finally, as you're leaving, Tamil says, oh, I almost forgot. And she pulls out her cask and her formula for Old Woody and hands it to Brixley.
oh boy.
Hey!
Nice. The real prize.
I have a feeling Caden Kinlin has something in store for Old Woody. Here's the formula of how you make it. I warn you, it's a little touchy. If you mess it up even by a small amount, you might lose your eyebrows. Then again, if you drink it, you might lose your eyebrows. Maybe it's supposed to do that. Who knows? But here you go.
Excellent. I will treasure it and share it with as many people as can handle it safely.
Yes, who knows? Maybe we can turn it into an alchemist bomb. Seems like Old Woody has endless possibilities. Can remove, paint, put you out, explode, does everything.
Yep.
Before we leave, Cade will go to Celeste and he'll say, thanks for everything you've done, and you've been our leader, I feel, since we've been doing this, and well, it's been my honor to travel and fight with you.
The honor is all mine. I don't know that I was any sort of leader. Moral compass, perhaps. We'll leave it at that.
That's same in my book, and he'll give her a big hug, and then use sleight of hand to put the poop dagger in her belt.
Oh no.
Just a little something to remember him by.
I'm sure.
Always be safe.
You too. Bye, everyone. I can't wait till the next time I see you. I'm sure you'll have plenty of stories to tell me. Hopefully I'll have a couple to tell you as well.
Yep, but if you find you need help breaking that pact, figure out a way to get a hold of us and we'll come back and help you do it.
Oh, I'm sure I'll be able to use your assistance. As I said, next time you come around these parts, maybe I'll come with you, and we'll all travel to Absalom together. I'm sure I'll find a book or something somewhere there that'll help me figure this out.
With that, Tamil looks at you all and says, I hear there's some really good circuses in Absalom.
I've never seen a circus.
What's a circus?
Oh, you'll love it. They do shows, they have animal tricks, they do magic. It's just a fun time for all.
Pari's ears perk up.
Hey, Pari, you want to go to the circus?
Do I? That sounds like so much fun. Maybe that could be on our adventure.
You got it, kid. We'll go to the circus.
I bet the circus doesn't have a flaming cat, though.
That's true.
They have I bet they have other flaming animals, though.
Maybe Brixley needs to join the circus.
Really, when's the last time you saw an animal that was on fire? Come now.
Ridden by a gnome with purple hair and bright green clothing.
Carrying a flask of alcohol that could take the paint off stuff. He is the circus.
Maybe Brixley needs to start his own circus. He could be the main act.
There you go. One-man show. One gnome show.
Maybe you shouldn't hold old Woody so close to Ember.
True, it probably is flammable.
Is old Woody just turpentine?
No, it's much
So
worse.
much more. I mean, yes, that is one of its common household uses. But
I feel like if you drink too much, it'll make you go blind.
If you drink any, it will make you go blind.
I think it's just concentrated turpentine.
that's a feature. That's a feature, not a bug.
In past adventures, drinking Old Woody did make... What happened?
I think my skin turned blue for a little while or something.
That's something. That's right. Like your skin turned blue.
Because
And-
it's hard. It's hard to pick out which was Old Woody and which was the Numerian fluid. But yeah, something happened.
That's right. That's right. Numerian fluid was just as bad. Oh, you never drank the. You never drank the chemical stuff that you found. Oh well.
There's still time.
He's awfully quiet over there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just digesting the whole thing. It's a little bit of a somber end note. I didn't expect poor Sir Kent to get killed, but
I said some nice things.
Yeah, that kind of sucked. He died a hero, so that's as good as anyone can get, I guess.
Well, if he made it to the Plaguestone, it does 66 damage to everyone in the town, and then kills everyone in 3 rounds.
nice. I
Oh,
actually
geez.
had a question and a comment. The question was, or actually 2 different questions. I mean, one question is, if we had died in the Vilry fight, when you said you had a plan for that, I was wondering, were you like gonna make us fight as townspeople or something? Like still fight the creature, but fight as like townspeople or something?
Actually, yeah, I probably would have had you become like Sir Lawrence Kent and
Pari and Metamon and a couple other people. Yeah.
Yeah, and a few others, and it probably would have been wading through people to try to destroy the. I'm not exactly sure, and I read the effects of it going off and realizing, wow, you can just end this and everyone dies. Just like it's like the ending is literally everyone dies. It's like the heroes die and the town dies, and that's
The other
it.
question I had was: is the success or failure of the side quests, or determine who's around to help with the final fight, or is that just kind of flavor?
That's flavor, and I
was thinking to
added a lot
myself, like,
that.
if you don't kind of help Sir Lawrence Kent, is he just not there at the end? And
Yeah, he drinks himself through a stupor, or he can die because he can go investigate the ghost on his own, and he can then get killed from the ghost. You know, you don't have to help out Pari at all. You don't have to.
but that doesn't necessarily affect the actual final thing.
No.
It sounds like
No.
it does.
Well,
Or
it
you
does
made it so.
indirectly. I made it so. There's the adventure definitely felt like the first chapter was very detailed, and then chapters 2 and 3 are just a straight up fight. And it looks like there was a lot cut. I mean, I could just sort of tell the way it was written, and I spoke to. I know there was more to it, just speaking to Jason. So, and that's just due to page count of printing the book. And it looked like there was a lot more in there, like more backgrounds, more characters. So I just kind of took it and ran with it.
I mean, I definitely felt like my actions mattered outside of the fight in this game because we were training Pari and because we helped Sir Kent and the Ranger.
Yeah, I feel weirdly proud of setting up the Church of Caden Khalid,
Yeah.
even as a side objective. It's still kind of cool.
Yeah, I think the side quests were amazing.
Cool. Well, he put them in, but then I added to them because they just ended. Like the Kent one just ended. The church is there, and you can set it up to anything you want. So we just made it Caden Khalid. It could have been anyone. It didn't matter. In fact, they say in there, like, basically whatever you worship is what they'll make it for. Pari is in there, but very basic. Just says, oh, she wants to be trained. That's about it. And believe it or not, the amulet is in there, but it's very open-ended how it works. And I kind of added more to it, but it is in there. And it is Carvassalon that is in there too, but it's very open-ended of how it works and what the Carvassalon means. So that I kind of
I thought Celeste's was the most interesting overall.
Yeah,
Because
for
of
sure.
the fact that it extends beyond the life of this adventure, and it could be something that she can play around with for, possibly all the way to level 20.
Yeah, I haven't written out. I haven't
hanging
written
out
out what it all means. Like, I didn't just give it and just say and send it. So whether we continue or if she wants to keep playing with Celeste, I can give it. You guys are all made level 4, by the way, obviously, and then one of those rings if you want to take it. And then I can give you everything in terms of gear. There's a ton of gear and tons of gold and all that stuff. I can break all that out at the end.
I've got some ideas on how we might proceed with it, but we can talk about it when it's not midnight.
Yeah, I mean, we could proceed a couple of different ways, and I know people are very interested in Celeste. It's like people want to know.
Well, I'm hoping to meet the young dwarf as like a new cleric of Caden Colleen out in the world someday. Maybe he'll actually grow up and become an adventurer too, or something.
Oh, not only that, they're going to all be having tattoos of Old Woody.
Either that or it'll be the Order of Ember. They'll all have Firecat tattoos.
Hey everyone, Steven here. There we go. The end of the Fall of Plaguestone. The adventure is complete. All hail the conquering heroes. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that. Get to hear a little bit about what happens to the characters at the end. One note, if you yourself are recording your very last session, do not have it continue way past midnight. As you can hear, everyone was gung-ho and excited, and we had a really, really long session, and I wanted to stop it, but everyone insisted we kept going, and then at the very end, when it was well past midnight, we've been going 4+ hours, everyone really ran out of steam. So I'm going to go through and tell you a few things of what to expect now, because it's really rare if you think about it. How often do you actually get to finish your adventures? I would say like 90-95% of you just don't. Most times you hear like you're running adventures and you're going one after another, and then someone drops out or someone moves away, and then you can't meet, and next thing you know, it just ends. I've heard so many people say it just, quote, fizzled out, and it just ended, and there's no conclusion. There's no resolution to what happens. And this is the thing, it's that we ended it. If you pick up the book today and read it, there's nothing left. I went through every page. We went through every aspect of the adventure. We are done. But the stories for these characters are not done, and that was very much on purpose. Are they going to go open up the spirits? Who knows? Jason's character is kind of done with his backstory of setting up the church, and obviously Old Woody needs to be spread around Galarian. But what about him and his adventures with Ember? What's going to come of them? And then finally, the one that everyone keeps asking me about is Celeste. Because, well, the other ones sort of had a resolution to them, but Celeste has no resolution. She found out that she has a horrible curse on her, and that she is damning herself every single time she tries to cast a spell, and she doesn't even have the capacity to read the contract she found. So what are we going to do about that? Well, a few things. First of all, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm telling you that right now. We already have plans to bring them back. Maybe they'll show up in 3-Ring Adventure. I know it sounds crazy, but it could happen. We are in the world of Galarian, and I could have Celeste show up. Vanessa would have to play 2 characters, but I don't think that's a problem for Vanessa. Plus, in the old Pathfinder and D&D systems, you had the follower feat, which allowed you to play multiple characters, so I think we're okay with that. We could have them show up in the Tales from the Black Lodge. Very, very possible. We'll see about that as you start listening to that. You'll see how that could occur. But as I said last week, probably what we're going to do is I'm planning on hopefully bringing back all 4 characters to the Pathfinder adventure The Slithering by Ron Lundeen. That starts off at level 5, which would be perfect because at the end of this adventure, everyone just became level 4. So all they really need to do is get their characters up to level 5. They can bring all the same equipment, all the stuff they found. They have the same backstory, and we'll figure out a way to tie it in that they can continue their adventures in the Slithering. And then with that, we'll be able to have a fun adventure where they're going to be tracking down slimes and oozes and goo. And we can find out more about Celeste, and maybe she can get to the bottom of this curse. We can maybe have Chapter 2 of the Spirits, see if they ever open that up. Maybe they're going to be opening up franchises throughout Galarian, who the heck knows? And then, of course, Brixley has to be opening up other churches of Caden Killeen across the world of Galarian, and spreading Old Woody wherever he goes, near and far. But if you have any questions about these characters, guess what? You have access to everyone. That's right. Just go to our Discord. Just go to discord.rollforcombat.com. We're all on there. So you can ask questions galore. Just go to the Plaguestone spoiler channel. Ask your questions. Find out what happened to Celeste. Find out what happened to the Spirits. Find out what happened to Old Woody. They're on there all the time, so feel free to come by and ask us some questions. As for the Pathfinder adventure, The Slithering, that doesn't come out till the summer, so the soonest we would probably get that going is probably August. So in the meantime, make sure you definitely check out Three Ring Adventure. It has the exact same people except for Jason. Jason instead is going to be doing Tales from the Black Lodge, which is fascinating because Jason has been in every single podcast ever that we have ever done. So isn't that crazy? So we're finally having him skip one. That, as you know, has already started. That is a fun adventure path, let me tell you. An adventure path, oh boy. That is going to take a while, going from level 1 to level 20, but I will say the leveling is way faster in that adventure path. It probably took half the number of sessions to level up in that adventure path that it did in the Fall of Plaguestone. So just letting you know about that. It's going to go fairly quick. It's not going to be going on months where they go from level 1 to level 2. Probably be just a few weeks where they level up, so it's going to be quite quick. And as for Tales from the Black Lodge, as I said, that's a brand new adventure, episodic. It's going to allow us to bring people in and out as needed. Lots of small vignettes, larger overall mystery. Find out more about that. Hopefully that will drop this week. I'm still working on it. And then, oh yeah, there's this thing called RPG Superstar that's launching this week, where you will be able to create a monster for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, submit it, and if you are chosen, you can be published in the Roll for Combat Battle Zoo Bestiary. That's right, the Battle Zoo Bestiary, where it's going to have all the winning monsters in this gigantic bestiary, plus articles and support material from some of the best developers in the role-playing world. Of course, you can look at that at rpgsuperstar.com. And then, of course, our Patreon. If you want to continue to listen and support us, just go to our Patreon at patreon.rollforcombat.com. For $10, you can listen to us record all these episodes live. I know people who go, they love it. We talk to you, we answer questions. You can listen to us before the show, after the show. You probably only get about 50% of what we talk about in the podcast. The other 50% you have to become a Patreon to listen to. You can just do $5, and if you're $5, you can get the shows early. That will work too. Hopefully everyone really enjoyed this adventure. We had a great time running it. I actually learned a lot by running this adventure because this is the first time I ran a published adventure that had these really specific side quests. I've seen side quests before, but they're kind of thrown in almost optionally and they don't always integrate with the story that well. But this case, the side quests were excellent, and I was able to mold them a little bit for each character, so they're able to not only do the side quests, but also develop their character at the same time. And that's something I really learned when I was running this adventure. Not only to give everyone a main goal, which in this case was saving Plaguestone, but to give everyone their own individual side quests that not only bring something to the adventure, but bring something to their character as well. Again, I've done that before, but this really brought it to the forefront, and I was able to see things that I've never done before. And I'm going to bring that into all the other shows and podcasts we do right now. So once again, to sum up, thank you everyone for listening to the show and being part of it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you had a good time. If you made it this far, I presume you did. If you want to continue listening to the adventures of these 4 characters, hopefully they will be back later this year in Pathfinder Adventure The Slithering. Maybe they'll also show up in Three Ring Adventure. Maybe they'll show up in Tales from the Black Lodge. Probably they're going to show up in both. So make sure you subscribe and listen to those as well. And also, at a weird coincidence, for those of you who've been listening for over 2.5 years of our Dead Sons adventure path, that is also ending this week. So, weird coincidence that both podcasts end at the exact same week. I actually did this spreadsheet where I put out all the shows and I figured it out for like 2.5 months ago. They both landed on the same week. And I was like, what the heck? That is really weird. But I'm not going to argue. Makes things easier for me. Kind of. Maybe I shouldn't have ended 2 podcasts, launched 2 podcasts, and start the RPG Superstar all in the same week. That might not have been such a good idea. But hopefully I will make it through this week. Everything will go smoothly. And then I can start planning the next big adventure with these characters. Anyhow, once again, if you want to chat or say hi to anyone, just go to our Discord channel. I'm there all the time. But thanks again for listening to Roll for Combat, The Fall of Plaguestone.
You've been listening to Roll for Combat, a Pathfinder actual play podcast. If you have a question or comment for the show, please visit us at rollforcombat.com. You can also find us and play various role-playing games on our Discord channel at discord.rollforcombat.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and other social media platforms. You've been listening to Roll for Combat. Until next week, always remember that you're not the first person to yell "Free Bird" at the Bard.